Hello everyone, I'm really hoping that you can hear me. Can I have a little indication in the chat if the audio is okay, because I've been struggling a little bit with it. Hopefully you can hear me and there's not too much background noise going on. I hope you're all well today. I hope everyone's doing good. I am really happy. Thank you, Cheryl, loud and clear. I'm really happy to be here this afternoon. Some of you will know that a Wednesday is my day off from my proper job. I do a lot of cave stuff on a Wednesday and I am really happy to be able to do a bit of live streaming while we are here. So let's see who we've got in the chat, shall we? Queen, hello, and hi to Charlie P too, nice to see you. And we've got Art and Diamonds with Eskies. Ah yes, I was going to say, it must be quite early for you, is it not? I know you're over the other side of the States. Mona, you can hear me, good, thank you. Okay, that's great. Art at Jules, hi Jules, how you doing too? I know, I know Thea's here. We do have, I do believe, we do have a full complement of, I nearly had a pip there, sorry. I think we do have a full complement of mods today as well. Leah is, she will only be dipping in, but we do have Thea and Laurie as well. So if you have any sort of uncomfortableness in the chat or there's something you want to point out, just grab a hold of one of these lovely ladies with the little blue spanner next to their name and they will be happy to help you out. As always, this is a safe space. We're here to kick back, chill, have some fun this afternoon and answer the questions about moving to the new cave. Almost 7 AM. Oh my god, that's far too early. Hi Debbie, nice to see you too. 10 AM on the East Coast, yeah. Yeah, Queen, I think Art and Diamonds with Eskies, she's on the, oh no, she's on the, no, she's on the West Coast, I think, or closer to the West Coast. Anyway, anywho's, I just want to set out my intentions for this stream. I did leave a note under the actual, you know, like in the description. What I would like to do is I've got a very high tech and important mission that we need to achieve in the first hour. And then after that, we're going to do a bit of gouache painting. The reason that I want to paint in gouache is because I bought myself some paintbrushes. I'm totally supposed to be packing everything up and I'm like, do you know what, it's fine. The reason for these paintbrushes is that, listen to me, this is me trying to justify myself. The reason for these paintbrushes is that I've been doing quite a lot in gouache recently and I just felt that the brushes that I had weren't not up to scratch. That's really unfair. I just feel as if I wanted something a wee bit better, but I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money. And I found it really difficult to find a decent filbert brush. So these Escoda brushes, this is the Escoda Prado, these were recommended to me by someone. I'll just hold that up there, see if you can see that there. and it's a really nice filbert. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, to trying that out, and I thought, why not do it with you guys? And I got myself a flat brush as well, just because if you're going to buy one, you might as well buy two. I will find out, I will do like a little mini review with these. They're not expensive brushes. I got these from Jackson's Art, and I think collectively they came to £20 for both of them. So not super cheap brushes, but not super expensive. Anywho's, it's after 3, let's get going properly. Hello everybody who's come in here now. Let's see. Marcy Colours, hi Marcy. And Cara Marinas, hello! Oh, from New Zealand, oh my goodness. So wait a minute, New Zealand, you must be really late at night or really early in the morning, depending on what way you look at it. It's 7 AM in Seattle, oh my goodness. And there's Jan, that's who I was waiting for. Hi Jan, nice to see you, hope you're working hard. Okay, before we start this first activity and then get into answering some questions, I just want to explain something a little bit here. The situation is, most of you know Papa Jem, my dad. He likes to involve himself in things, especially anything that's to do with adulting for me, because apparently in my 30s I'm not capable of doing that myself. He is insistent that he really, really wants to help us move. And we have told him repeatedly that that's not necessary. We've got everything under control. We've moved a lot. Like we don't need help. And bearing in mind that Papa Jem's, you know, he's getting on a little bit now. We didn't really want him having to do like heavy lifting or anything like that. So he's insistent on helping. So one of the things that Papa Jem likes to do is clean things. He's kind of got an order disorder, and he has like a fixation with... It's okay, Jules. Yes, I'll still be live in 30 minutes. We'll see you in a little while. Ta-ta. Yeah, so he has this sort of fixation with shiny surfaces, especially likes to clean glass and things. So I said to him that if he really wanted to help with the move, it would be excellent if he could basically just clean up after us a little bit. When we move from this house, and I like no heavy cleaning, but you know, wipe the skirting boards and like vacuum the floors and stuff. So he's agreed to this. So I said to him, I will create a box of cleaning supplies, which I will leave here, because obviously I'll want to take my cleaning supplies with me to the new place, and I'll put his name on the box. Now, we bought some packing boxes because the double-walled ones, like the proper thick ones, they're not that easy to come by if you just go begging for boxes. So I thought I would buy some off Amazon. And when I did, they are from a UK company, and they have like moving vans printed on them. So like the front of the moving van's on one side and the back side, you know, like, and I thought, oh, how cool is that? And I thought, well, we obviously need to decorate Papa Jem's van for him. The very first van that Papa Jem had for his business, the business that he still runs today, his van was bright yellow. And him and I kind of have this fixation with yellow things, but it's a very specific colour of yellow. It's a very cheery yellow. It's close to cadmium yellow, and we call it JCB yellow, as in the, you know, like the diggers and the dumper company, JCB. The colour that their machinery is, that's the colour of yellow. Any other colour of yellow is not acceptable. So, I know this is very long-winded, but bear with me, guys. Papa Jem's cleaning box. We're going to paint his van yellow. So I've made a start, but obviously there's two sides. So I've done one side already. But if I just flip this over, oh, you can see like they're... So you can see why this is super important. Now, Papa Jem does not know anything about this, and he's at work today, so he's not going to see this. So I would really like to get this other part painted here, just so that we've got a really cool box leaving, because it really will tickle him, like it will make him laugh. The thing that makes me laugh about these boxes the most is the part that's the bottom, because obviously these are flat packed. On the bottom is like the underside of the van, and it says, oh no, the van has flipped. Like, I love these boxes. So yeah, I'd just like to make a shout out to directglobaltradingboxes.co.uk because their boxes are freaking awesome. So, I don't know how I'm going to manoeuvre this onto this table here. I'm probably going to have to stand up for this. So I would say for this this next part of the stream, I'll probably turn the face cam off because I'm going to have to stand up and lean over and stuff. So that's what we're that's what we're going to do. And yes, Thea, he is going to love it. I know he's going to love it. There's a bit of it's almost like a bit of competition going on. Just the way things have turned out, my brother is actually moving in the next like 2 weeks. So both of my dad's kids are moving within the space of a month of each other. And I was saying to Mr. Jem, I bet Papa Jem doesn't get a yellow van box when he helps my brother move. No competition, honestly. Oh dear, right, okay, so I'm going to turn face cam off. Got to like lean over this box. Let's go to top down view. Let's do some painting. Okay, right, so first things first, what I found out earlier was that most of this takes 2 coats, so I think the best thing to do, that's probably the best angle that I'm going to get. Wow, this is going to be interesting. I didn't really think this through, did I, guys? It's all fun and games. So I've also got my list of questions, which I'm just going to grab as well, and we shall answer some questions, do a bit of multitasking while we're going. So really straightforward here. I have got some flat paint brushes here for acrylic paint because that's what I've been using, and I found that everything's going to take like 2 coats. So I've got the number 14 Artful brush here. It's a wee bit damp. Hi Christy, nice to see you. We'll get the chat to catch you up on what's going on. You've got a lot to catch up on, and this is just Winsor & Newton. Student grade or acrylic paint, so we want to get 1 coat of that on this part of the van. Oh lordy, and then we can look at a second coat. Right, how am I going to do this? This is best way to, right, okay, there we go. Let's go. So I didn't bother putting this out into a palette when I did the other side this morning out in the sun on the deck, which is where I posted my cup of tea from, if you saw the community post this morning. Yeah, I was just taking it straight from the tube with a damp brush, which seems to be the way forward, but we're still going to need 2 coats, so we'll just get battered on with this. And what I was doing was touching up this black line with a permanent marker a bit later on. Hi Daria! Right, okay, so let's talk about some questions. The questions that I have in front of me here are a mixture of ones that were left under the actual announcement, you know, the update video, and various others when it comes to things like emails and, oh no, don't zoom in, zoom out a bit, there we go. Emails and DMs, that kind of thing. So we've got quite a cross section of questions here. Hi Weasel. The first question, and of course the most important question, is am I going to have better internet? And as it stands right now, the answer to that is I don't know. I have been in touch with my internet service provider, and they have put the wheels in motion to find out about the best way to do the internet basically at the new place. We are in quite a unique position. Well, I say unique, we're not really, like, we're not the only rural people in the world, obviously. But I don't know many people that are rural that want to live stream for their business, you know, from their new farm. So that's kind of ongoing, but they have assured me that they will find the most effective way, because in all of this as well, we're nearly coming up on 2 years since we actually got the you know, the business internet here, like the upgraded internet, and the contract that I took out was a 24-month contract, so it's actually going to tie in quite nicely. I might have to buy out like a month's worth of contract, but that's going to be it. So that's really, really good. But in terms of speeds and stuff, yeah, I don't actually know what I'm going to be getting, so I'm just going to have to be patient with that. But I will update you on that situation in due course for sure. this really weird painting, acrylic paint on top of this like almost corrugated cardboard. Yeah, Christy, we're Papa Gem's gonna have a cleaning box for when we move. He's gonna clean the house like after we've emptied it, and he has a thing about yellow vans. So because the box just happens to have a van printed on it, we thought we'd make it into a yellow van just for him because, well, you know, Papa Gem's awesome. You know that. I say, as far as I know, he doesn't know I'm live streaming today and he's working, so the chances of him seeing this are really, really slim. So I'm kind of hoping it's still going to be a surprise. Live streaming calving could be the new thing for farming. No, you definitely don't want to be doing that, Jan. Definitely not. I am not up for that. Talk about undignified positions, and I'm not talking about the cow. Oh, jeez. Right, okay, let's just... I know you can't see this, like, this little bit over here, but you're not missing much, guys, honestly. Okay, the next question that was given to me, and this was from somebody called Becky, and Becky had said, because I'd mentioned the fact that there would be building work going on in the house when we move, she was asking what sort of building work. So the house I described a little bit. It's a big bungalow. It's not a cottage. It's a big bungalow, and the layout isn't ideal, is what the description that I would give it. Apart from the fact that it's quite old-fashioned. It's quite tired now, and the landowner was wanting to put work into the house anyway, so it made sense to do it when there was a changeover of who was living in it. So the building work that's going on, once we move in, it's not going to be started before, but it will be recommencing directly, is there's going to be an extension built on the front of the house. And that's going to be like a utility room or a boot room, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. So that for us, that means that's where our dogs sleep, also where our washing machine goes. I want to try and turn this a little bit. Oh, look, there we go. So obviously for us, that's quite an important room in the house. I might change paintbrushes here, just splodge that down. A round brush, I think. So I've got here, I'm just sticking with the Artful brushes. This is a number 5 round, but it's got quite a nice pointy point on it, so that'll be good for going around these edges here. This was not the brush I was using earlier. I'll just pick up some of this, but just use it as a temporary palette also. Yeah, so that's quite a big deal. So that's going to be bolted onto the front of the house. The house is a really strange layout. The kitchen is like more or less beside the front door, which I just think is kind of weird personally, but it might just be me. So for the first wee while, the house is going to be absolute chaos, and that's one of the things that I'm having to deal with, because anytime we move, I'm the kind of person that, like, within a week and a half everything's unpacked and it has a place. Even if we've got decorating to do, I still have things in the correct rooms and stuff. So I think I'm going to struggle a wee bit with that, because realistically it's going to be, by the time the work actually starts, it's going to be well into the autumn. And the dogs are going to have to sleep in the kitchen until then, which I really, really don't like. I've got this thing, I do not want my dogs sleeping in the place where I prepare food. But that's really that's really the only option, especially for Jock, because Jock likes a hidey hole, like, to feel safe. So yeah, well, but we'll deal with it. It'll be fine. It's it's like first world problems, There we go. Just get this down in here. Woo! I do love a bit of cadmium yellow here. It's a bit globby. I have overloaded my brush, so that was entirely my own fault. Whatever we don't get done in this first hour, obviously once I'll finish it in my spare time, and I will post it up on the socials and on community tab, etc. so that you can see the finished article. Ah, goodness me. Oh, we'll leave that to mellow for a minute or two. Oh, hi, Colour with Claire. I see you. Your parcel was posted out yesterday, Claire. Just so you know. Debbie, why am I moving? Thea, can you post the link to the that update video for Debbie, please, if you don't mind? Oh, hi, Patty. A good raining morning from Toronto. Right, while this side's drying, for those of you that have just come in, Papa Gem's got an obsession with yellow vans, and he has a box of cleaning supplies that are going to stay here at this house because he's going to clean up after we've moved everything out. So we're making it as a surprise for him because he likes yellow vans. And obviously these packing boxes are awesome because they've got vans on them. That's the short version. Okay, so this was the one I did earlier. This is already dry, and what I found was that everything was going to need 2 coats. So we're just going to slap a second coat on here. I'm going to grab my my big flat brush again. It's a bit damp, though it could do with a dry off a wee bit here. Oh, thanks, Thea. That is perfect. Yeah, Debbie, if you click on the link that Thea has provided in the chat there, that kind of explains the moving thing a bit better. So the next question, now that we've talked about the extension, is am I going to paint the cave the same colour as this cave? And the answer is no. The room that we're going to have as the cave at the new place, the light hits it differently, and the window is, it's a different ratio to the size of the room. It is going to let in more light, but until I actually get there and experience it, I'm not sure how it's actually going to play out, because the room's a different shape as well. It's not square, it's rectangular. So Jan, I love the reg number is the size of the box. Yeah, it's a large box. Yeah, so I was actually thinking I'm probably going to go for something close to white, honestly. And it's more for lighting, for filming, because obviously white bounces light about. I might not do that. I haven't entirely decided. As I say, I want to be in it for a little while. And that's why I'm not actually in any rush to, you know, get the place set up. It's like, oh no, I've got to do this. Well, there's actually no hurry. As long as we've got internet and a desk, you know, we can work everything else out. And I would rather kind of wait a little bit and make sure that it's right than, you know, spend loads of money on a setup and then be like, oh well, this isn't actually working. So you can see the difference that a second coat makes. It looks much tidier, doesn't it? Squeeze up a bit more paint. I'm going to change up my brush again. And I'm going back to this number 5 round. And again, this is just to navigate around the windscreen type area. Thea, I'd be busy painting all those boxes instead of packing. Oh no, I have to say, like, I'm getting to that stage, because that's us, we're like 5 weeks out now. And so we're in that horrible limbo of where we're not packed and we're not completely unpacked. And the house is just really disorganised. And, you know, it's not even disorganised. There's stuff lying everywhere. And yeah, it kind of irritates me, to be honest, just because I'm so organised and I like everything to have a place. So I'm kind of getting to that, like, slightly tetchy stage. I'm starting to tweak a wee bit. But you know, it's just a stage that you go through, and over the next maybe 2 weeks we'll be more packed than unpacked, so it'll be okay. Oh, Claire's asking a watercolour question. Important. Which brushes would you recommend for watercolour? Oh, Claire, what a question. I would say it depends on what type of paper you like to use, because I find that I use different brushes depending on if I'm using hot press or cold press paper. a really good starter selection. I enjoyed the Winsor and Newton Cotman brushes as a starting point for like a proper watercolor brush without spending a huge amount of money. And you can buy like, I think it's a 6 or an 8 brush set, and I found that a really, really good place to start. In terms of actually doing watercolor though, I'm sure you know this already, like I don't want to be patronising, but spend your money on the paper, because the paper will do you a much better service than, you know, like really expensive paintbrushes. So anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. It's a very personal thing though. Again, me being me, I'm like, I get on really well with cheap paintbrushes. I'm one of these people that's like, I don't need an expensive paintbrush. I've got my £1.50 sea white synthetic brush. And people are like, oh, you can't paint watercolour with a synthetic brush. I'm like, well, I just did and it's fine. But yeah, I would say that's a cost-effective starting point that will give you a feeling of a watercolour brush that's a proper watercolour brush, if you see what I'm saying. Right, okay, 2 coats, there we go. Nicely done. Thea's like, see white brushes. Jan likes the Rosemary & Co brushes. They're not cheap. I don't have any of those, Jan, but I've tried one and they are really nice, but they're quite pricey, aren't they? Oh, okay, Claire's saying she wants to use them on the sketchbook she got from the... Claire's bought one of the little watercolour journals. They're cold press, Claire. So they've got a wee bit... They're not like really knobbly bobbly, but they've got a wee bit of texture. But yeah, I would try, even if you just want to buy like buy a number 6 round and like a 4 flat or something, and see how you get on with them. I'd say that's probably the best bet. But I found those to be quite comfortable brushes to use when I was, you know, kind of trying to step up from the budget brushes. So hopefully you find that helpful. Right, I'm kind of hoping that we're almost dry. Oh no, we're not dry at all. We're not dry at all. Right, what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to go and sit this outside. The sun is splitting the trees here, and this will dry really quickly outside. So we've got time. It's not even 3:30 yet, so we can allow this to dry for 5 minutes and just to, you know, do some chit chatting while it's drying. Oh, it's roasty toasty out there, good grief. The thermometer out on the deck out the sunroom door is reading 22 degrees. It's proper toasty. I feel toasty as well, like I feel quite warm. Okay, Art and Diamonds is talking about Kolinsky brushes. Do you know something? I've tried a couple of Kolinsky brushes and I actually don't like them. I find that the ones I've tried that are pure Kolinsky are too soft. Like, I just feel as if they like flop about too much. Hello, Michelle. Nice to see you. Okay, so the next question that I got about moving, which was one that I think's clearly the most important question of all, is why don't you take Agnes with you? And I can totally totally understand why y'all are you know, you're saying like, I'll just buy her and take her with you. It's kind of a weird situation, but the young gentleman that works here that looks after the cows directly, he's also my neighbour, and I'm friendly with his partner as well. You know, because they're right across the yard from us. So if you don't get on, it could cause a bit of problem. They had a little baby recently, and I wouldn't want to take Agnes away from them because their little baby's going to grow up and get all the love from Agnes. And you know, if he's looking after her, I think that's only fair and right. We totally could do it. Plus as well, she's not an older cow, but she's not a young cow anymore, and she only got transported here like a year and a half ago. I wouldn't want to move her again because it's a substantial distance, especially to be moving during the summer. So I'm quite happy, I'm quite content to leave Agnes here for her to do her thing. And, you know, she's still going to be around when baby is, you know, old enough to know that she's the friendliest cow in Finder. So that, I don't know, that feels kind of important to me, that someone else should get joy from her, especially when they're the ones that are taking the time to look after her. Like, I think that's really important. So yeah, that's kind of the Agnes thing. And I know, like, without even having to worry about it, I know there's going to be like 100 more Agneses where we're going. The gentleman that Mr. Jem is taking over from, he's retiring, and over the years he's made lots of friends. So he's going to show us which ones are the friendly ones, and we're going to go and find them, and some of them are ginger, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, I'm definitely, like, I'm really am. I'm going to miss Agnes because she's been very good for me indeed. Yeah, but I think it's the right thing to do. Oh, Christy's getting all the feels. You do get attached to them though, like you do, especially when you see them every day. The other thing as well, which I'd kept the footage for maybe for a vlog. I don't even know if I'm doing a vlog at Cavemas. But Agnes's baby was actually born on my birthday. So that was super special. I was like, oh, if it's a little girl, please keep her for a cow, because obviously if it's female, it's beef cattle we've got, it means they get to stay in there. But it was a little boy. Mr. Jem has a nickname for me. He calls me Flappy. It's a long story. So anyway, Agnes's baby's called Flappy. He's a little flappy boy. But yeah, so Agnes is going to be staying put. So there you go. Next question was regarding the stash shop. The stash shop will be active up until probably about a week before we move, so like the second last week in June, and I'm quite happy to post out everything I need to do, you know, get stuff to you guys, because I am going to be, I'll talk about that more in a little minute near like the end of the stream, I think, about what's happening with the shop. But yes, the shop will be closing. Normally I would just say that, you know, there's going to be no order sent out, but you can still place an order. But I think on this occasion that I will actually shut it for you know, for like maybe a fortnight or something. I'll let you know well in advance with that. I won't leave you hanging at the last minute. But yes, the shop will probably shut, I want to say, like, I don't know, like the 15th to the 20th of June, somewhere in there. But as I say, I'll let you know. I will let you know for sure before that happens. The next question was whether this is going to be a long-term move or not. And the answer to that is Mr. Jem and I both really, really hope so. It's not the situation that we really wanted to end up in or be in at this stage of our lives, but the landscape, not literally, I mean, I'm talking figuratively here, the landscape of farming in general has changed dramatically in the UK since the pandemic started. Obviously we have the added complication of Brexit, which has just screwed everything for everyone in terms of farming. So based on that, we have had to adjust our, you know, mid and longer term plans in terms of finances and, you know, where we want to live. And really for Mr. Jem, like, it was almost a midlife crisis type thing for him. He was put in this position where, you know, do I want to keep doing this for a living? Because if I do, there's no guarantee that there's going to be, you know, jobs or anything. And say, unfortunately, the position that we're in just now is just, it's untenable now. So there was, you know, there was huge decisions made on it. The new landowner is lovely. He seems to be a very nice person, and he is looking for a long-term solution to the problem of his man that's there just now that's retiring. So we're hoping that that's going to be a really good fit for everyone, because I've said this time and time again, it's not a job. What Mr. Jem does, it's a lifestyle, and it encompasses everyone in the immediacy, family, friends, you know, it affects everyone, and it has to work for everyone. So we would like to say yes, and Mr. Jem is very much of the opinion if this is a situation that's going to benefit all parties, he has full intentions of staying there until retirement age. Because we are going into a tied house, so that is a house that is attached to the job because we need to be there because there's babies being born during the night and things in the spring. Because of that, we don't pay any rent on this house, which means our finances can go elsewhere. So it means we can either like save up for a house for retirement or buy something and rent it out, you know, like that kind of thing. So we've got loads and loads of options. It's just it just looks a little bit different than what we thought it would. But we've said that we will give it 18 months and just see how things start to pan out, because in any farming job you need a full year, like you need all the seasons to see how things are going to work, because every season looks very different in terms of your workload. And if everyone's happy, if the landowner's happy, if Mr. James happy, if I'm happy, then we will look to be there long term. So hopefully. Where would I like to retire, Claire? I have got no idea. I don't know. I'm still not completely against going to Italy and retiring in Italy, honestly. Obviously, that's where my roots are, so... But I don't know. I don't think Mr. Jem and I are actually ready for that conversation now, because we thought we'd be here. And I think there's going to be a little bit of let's just see how it goes for a wee while. But yeah, I'm sure if it's not going to be in Italy, it'll probably be somewhere in Scotland. Okay, right. I'm going to stop the questions there for a minute, and I'm just going to go back outside, and I'm going to go and grab the cardboard box. It should be dry by now. There we go. There we go. It is so hot out there. Oh my god. Oh, I've just knocked something over. I don't know what it was I knocked over. Right. Oh, sorry, it's just my phone. It's obviously we're a bit tight for space with this cardboard here. Better put that somewhere safe. Put it down there. Oh, there we go. Oh, I hate you. Never been before. Oh, Claire, please tell me whereabouts in Italy you're going. And if you've never been, the first thing you need to do is go and get a proper pizza. That's not a request, that's a demand. Once you taste proper, oh, I'm getting all my Italian hands out now. Once you taste proper Italian pizza, you will never, ever, ever look at pizza in the same light ever again. Right, let's go back to top-down view and get a bit more painting done. Oh, that's excited me no end. I want to go to Italy, like, now. All the Italian hands. Right, let's get another coat of yellow down here. Get Papa Jem's van sorted for him. Oh, you're going to where you're known as from. Oh, that makes me so happy. So happy. Oh, it's so pretty. The north is so pretty, like there's a lot of mountains and stuff. I'm so excited for you, Claire. I hope you have a good time. Amy says Scotland having better weather than Spain. I blame the local bar for having a Scotland day with bagpipes. Oh, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Yeah, it's really hot here, Amy. Like it's super hot today. We've got to be fair, the little bit outside the sunroom door, it is a bit of a sun trap. Like it's not 22 degrees all over the place in the north of Scotland today, but in that little corner it is warm. And normally what keeps us cool here as well is there's always a wind, because we're quite far north, but also we're quite high up on top of a hill. So it's always breezy, and a lot of people end up sunburnt because they don't actually realise how warm it is. And you know, like because the breeze is keeping them cool and everyone ends up like a lobster. Seems to be a Scottish thing though. Not because everyone's ginger, because not all Scottish people are ginger, contrary to popular belief. But just there's always this desperation with the Scots as well. Like the minute the sun comes out, doesn't matter what the temperature is, everyone just takes their clothes off. But I always say to people, like obviously I'm of Italian lineage, and in the summer I go brown as a berry. I can still burn though, so there's no excuse for Scottish people to not have sun cream on, because I put sun cream on and I take a really good tan and I don't burn easily, and Scottish people just seem to want to ignore that a lot of the time. Oh, let's squeeze all this down a bit. I love this acrylic paint. really well priced. I like the consistency of it as well. I was talking to someone about Dulux paint, you know, as in the wall paint. There's always this ongoing debate online about what's the best emulsion to use on your walls, you know, for your living room or your whatever. And it's always between Crown Paint, Johnson's Paint, Dulux and Valspar. And everyone keeps going on about how wonderful Dulux is, and I've used it a couple of times and I can't stand the stuff. You've had amber flood warnings, geez, oh, that's a bit crazy. Our weather's to be really good for the next, well, the rest of the week. It's to be roasty toasty all week, which I'm excited about. I'm going to try and sit out for a little while on Friday because it's something I haven't. I'm not really one for sunbathing, but I like to do stuff. I like to be outside. And I've been kind of stuck in the cave with work and stuff, so maybe on Friday I'll get finished a little bit early. We're getting there now. Art and Diamonds was born in Sicily. Oh, Thea's out like wear the sunscreen. I'll tell you a funny story about Julia Kay. Julia Kay of Julia Kay Art Studios. She came to visit last May. Was it April? No, it was May. And it was a nice day. I mean, it was chilly. We had like, you know, like fleecy blankets just like put around our shoulders, but the sun was out and we decided to sit outside. We were only out for maybe like 20 minutes and Julia actually got sunburnt. As like a Swedish person getting sunburnt in Scotland, that's hilarious. But obviously Julia is very fair. She's very blonde and very fair skinned. I didn't think it would be that easy for her to burn though. Oh. Right, there we go. Oh, I think I need to try and cover up the logo a little bit. There we go. I tell you what, my back's not enjoying this. See all? Yeah, so basically now what I want to do just to finish this off, which I think we're going to time this quite nicely, is just to do a little bit on the grill here and do the headlights and maybe put something, you know how I do like my streaky window thing, maybe do some of that as well. Let's get a teeny tiny brush. That's maybe a bit too teeny tiny. What else have we got? Don't know where I've put them. Oh, they're down there. Let me see. Okay, I've got number 3 here. Round. Again, just the artful brushes. Straight out the tube. Just checking. That's made me want to give it windscreen wipers, but that's just taking things too far. It's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh yeah, okay, how far over 100 though? That's still like in the 30s Celsius, isn't it? Thea's like a holy bag of nope. Oh. No, I think I'm good up until about like 28 Celsius. See, after that I'm like, nah. Right, I'm just taking this permanent marker here. I want to see how this is going to go over this paint. The answer is not very well. Okay, I think, I don't know whether I want to, do that in ink or just get some black paint. I'll figure that out later. Like that's a sort of minor point I don't really need to worry about right now. What I do want to do is like sort of put the headlights back in as well. So I'll get my white paint out for that. Thanks for popping in, Jana. Nice to see you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Oh. To get my brush cleaned a little bit here. because not all of Italy is over 30 degrees all of the time, Christy. There's also a huge difference between sitting in heat and working in heat. If I'm doing nothing, I'll sit in whatever, but if you have to go and work in it, then I'm like, nah. But if you're in the north especially, like it's cold in the winter in the north of Italy. I'm not really going for the weather. Obviously it's drier than living in Scotland, that goes without saying, but it's not really the main reason that I'd want to retire there. It's more about the fact that that's where my family's from. It's really pretty and it would definitely be the source of much inspiration for painting. Yeah, the old air conditioning. See, that's one of the things about Scotland as well. Like, air conditioning isn't a thing for us because it's not hot enough to warrant anyone spending the money on having it in their house. It's just not warm enough. But what that does do is, in the summer, it means your house feels really cool. Like, especially for us because we're all stone floors downstairs. Yeah, do you know what? That pen's not tickling me at all. I'm going to have to do something about that. Not working out for me. Right, let's go to another question then about the move. The next question was regarding filming during the move, and I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I suppose it depends on how chaotic things get, but the one thing that we do have this time, and I think Jan mentioned it at one point, is that we've got access to shorts now, which we didn't have at the last move because shorts weren't really a thing at that point. So even if I can post some, like little diddly videos, I will certainly do that. Again, I'm just going to wait and see. I'm going to stack up the videos as best I can, like film in advance, so that you're not going too long without like proper art videos. But I think maybe that sort of 2-week transition that I was talking about with the shop, we might do some shorts there instead. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Michelle and Nye, I'm going to answer that question. It's actually on the list, so I will answer that for you. The next question was regarding Jock, and the question was, is he going to be fit to move? And the answer is yes, he is. He has his x-ray that he has to go for before we start upping his exercise is going to be about a week and a half before we're due to move. So we will know at that point whether he's got the green light to start getting back to normal. And at that point, if the answer is yes, then he will be fit to travel in the back of the pickup. If the answer is no, he will just be travelling differently. He will be in a seatbelt harness on the passenger seat with me in a seated position, whereas if he's fit to travel, he'll be in like the flatbed of the pickup with Pip, obviously. Right guys, I'm going to stop here with the van. That is fantastically done. Once all this is dry, I'm going to touch up these edges and everything. I'll post this on the socials and the community tab, and you can see the finished effect. So here's the other the other side as well. I feel as if I should write Papa Gem's cleaning van and then cross out van and put box under it or something. I'll have a little think about that. But yeah, that was good funsies for the first hour. Why not? Bit random. I tell you what, it's getting warm in here as well. I'm starting to be like a bit hot. Let's swap you all round. Looking a bit glowy, aren't I? A bit shiny. Yeah, so let's see what we're coming up on 3:45. Okay, so let's take a look at the rest of these questions here. Okay, how long in each cave? That was quite a good question. Everybody seems to think that we were in the original cave for ages, and we weren't. We actually weren't. I started the cave in March of 2018, and we moved to here in the January of 2020, so just before lockdown. So we were less than 2 years in the first cave. We've been here nearly 3.5 years. By the time we move, it will almost be exactly 3.5 years, and everyone seems to think that we've not been here that long, which I find really funny. So that's like I don't know, I just find that really strange. So we've got like two years minus a couple of months in the first cave and 3.5 years here, and hopefully the third cave will be the third and final. We always say that three is the magic number. I hope three is the magic number too, and we can really get it like sorted out the way we want it. Like, yeah, that's one thing like about this cave. I've never like there's always things I've wanted to tweak and change about it, and I've just never quite gotten it exactly the way I wanted it. But the first cave was perfect, like I loved it. So maybe I'll get it right third time. I think the first time was just a fluke. Oh dear. So the next question, which is quite timely because Michelle's just asked it, is will we be closer to family? We will be significantly closer to everyone, which is nice. It will be about an hour less for, in fact, it'll be more than that. It'll be over an hour less for Mama and Papa Jem, which is amazing because obviously they are my closest family, like the next closest people. And it's going to be much easier for Mr. Jem's parents because they're in Ireland, but they can fly into Edinburgh Airport and it's not far for us to go and get them at the airport. So just our parents, let alone anybody else in the family, like it's a significant improvement, and it's one of the things that actually like helped us make a decision because our parents are not young people anymore and we just don't know how much longer they're going to be around. So this will give us the opportunity to spend time with them more frequently, without it being like this absolute mission from start to finish. I mean, for Mr. Jem's parents to come and see us just now, it's just crazy, and it's why they don't do it. It's way too much for them, way too much. And Mr. Jem just struggles to get time off to go to see them because again you're going to Ireland, so either have to fly or you have to go down and get the boat. To drive to the ferry terminal from here is like a 4.5 hour drive, and that's, you know, it's not like you get off the boat and you're there. It's like a good hour and a half at the other end as well. So I'm actually really looking forward to being closer. And I will be able to get to Mama and Papa Jem as well. Like I can chuck Jock in the pickup and just go and see my parents for an afternoon, which is going to be lovely. That is one of the things, that was one of the major talking points and like one of the major pluses about making the decision to leave here, because we're closer. We're going to be closer to everyone. It's going to be great. So, but we're still far enough away that it's not going to be a problem because, as you all know, don't really like people, family or not, like in measured doses is fine. It's okay. So yeah, that's good. I thought that was a really good question, though. A really good question. The next one's a really funny one, and it's are you going to miss the sunroom? The answer is yes. Like, I'm going to miss the sunroom. That is my favourite room in the house, that room right there. It's been so nice, and when we first moved, I didn't think it was a room that we were going to use much. I thought, oh, see in the winter it's going to be shut off because it will be freezing, like it's going to end up just being like a relic. And we have used it way more than we thought we would, and we've socialised a lot in it. So yeah, I'm going to miss it. We've already spoken with the landowner of the new place, and I basically just said, look, I'm really going to miss this room in the house that I'm in. Is there any chance we can build one at some point? And they're like, do you know what? Yeah. I was like, okay. So obviously it's going to be a little dinky one. It's not going to be the size of the one that we've got just now, because that would be like twice the size of the house. But yeah, I think it's going to be at least a year, probably even longer than that, before we'll see that happening. But I will have a smaller version. I'll have like a mini version at the new place as well, which is really nice because the orientation of the house, where you would put it, it is south facing, the same as here. And it's just a lovely space to paint and draw in, just because you've got so much light around you at any time of the day. I see if you've got a south facing side of your house and you have the opportunity even to put like a little conservatory or something on, like 100% do it, just for drawing and painting. It's amazing. It's really good. So good. Second to last question here. What's the view like at the new house? Here's one of the downsides. See, after living somewhere like this, you're never, ever going to have anything that matches up to a view like ours, especially on a day like today when it's absolutely beautiful outside. We are incredibly lucky because of our elevation and just the surrounding scenery. We're in Scotland, everything's green, like it's lovely. There isn't much of a view at the new place. The pocket, I call it a pocket, the little area that we're in is really nice though. It's really picturesque. It's very like cute rural and, you know, a little bit affluent, like a little bit upmarket. And although you don't have these like sprawling vistas to fuel your creativity, it's not an unpleasant place to be. So there's compromises to be made. There is an absolutely beautiful spot about a 15-minute walk from the new cave as well. And Mr. Jem took me there when we went to visit the owner. It was, I suppose it was like a second interview, if you like. And I didn't realise there's a loch, and it's not a little loch, it's quite a big loch. And I thought it was public property, and it's not, it belongs to the landowner. So we have a private loch to walk round, and there's this little stone bench that's been made, and they have cut the cherry blossom tree so that it hangs in an arc over this bench, and then there's this tiny like diddly little pier. It's only like wide enough to walk on, and it goes out onto the loch. And that was the first thing I saw when I walked down there, and I was like, oh my god, I have to paint this. So there's things like that that more than make up for the fact that, you know, you're not going to have this amazing view that you've got here. So that's quite exciting as well. Like it's not bad. It's just different. So yeah. Okay, the last question I've got here. I'm pretty sure this was Jan, and I think she's away, which is a shame. And the last question was, if you've got ginger cows at the new place, can we have some ginger cow stickers? And the answer to that is yes, like 100% yes. We'll have some ginger cow stickers. I think a lot of the cattle, I'm not sure because I haven't seen them yet, but I think a lot of the cattle are like mixed breed, so that's going to give you some wonky horns and probably some hairdos as well as like nice markings. So I'm actually really looking forward to the cows. It would be really bad if I wasn't, but yeah, I totally am. So I think we can maybe get some stickers out of that. I think that would be really lovely. Really, really lovely. So there you go. That was all the questions that I had. That was a lot of questions, I know. And we've actually managed to stick to the schedule. It's 5 to 4. Like, that never happens on a stream. Let's just hang out in the chat for 5 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is just on 4, I'm going to take a really short comfort break. I could do with going to the loo. I've had a lot of water to drink today because it's warm, and I kind of need to go wee-wees. So if that's okay with you guys, I'll do that. And then when we come back, we can try some gouache. I think I'm also going to pour myself a Jack Daniels. I'm feeling some merriment coming on. It's only because this is my day off though, and it's sun's shining. So if anybody wants to join me in a beverage, go for it. Let's see what else is saying. Will we get an Agnes sticker? Oh, we could totally make an. Will we just do like a Cows of the Cave series of stickers? Do you guys want that? And we can have Agnes as a sticker. I would do that. Art and Diamonds with, is Auburn considered a ginger? Yeah, Auburn's like a dark ginger. It's not proper ginger, it's not true ginger, but it's still considered ginger. You wouldn't hear anyone in Scotland referring to someone as having auburn hair, they'd still be a ginge. So yeah, absolutely. The private loch, it's not my private loch, I'm just lucky enough to have access to it. But it is so pretty, honestly, but it's big, like it's big. Cows of the Cave, yes. Cows of the Cave, let's do it. Okay, right, we're going to have an Agnes sticker. I've got a really good picture of her. Well, it wasn't good for her in terms of her like condition at the time. When she'd just been transported here from our old farm, she was a bit dishevelled when she got off at the other end, and her hair was all like. But I've got a really good clear photograph of that, so I think we should probably base the sticker off of that. Patty says Highland cows are adorable. Do you know something, Patty? There's actually not as many of them around as there used to be, just because they're actually a really impractical breed unless you need something hardy. you know, to stay outside over winter, because Highland cows are kind of like the waste disposal unit of the cow world. They will eat anything. You know, nettles like bracken, everything, whereas some of the lowland breeds are a bit pickier. But you can stick Highland cows out on a moor, away up a glen somewhere, and leave them over winter and they'll be fine. But to work with them, they're not the most practical breeds to work with for a variety of reasons. So you don't actually see as many of them as Scotland as you might think you would. But we do have, there's one of the farmers, it's not our direct neighbour, he's a wee bit over. He's got 4 of them and they're all different colours. And a ginger mum had a baby and the dad was obviously black. And this baby has come out and it doesn't know what colour it wants to be, and it kind of looks like the blonde bits in my hair, like it's dark at the roots, and then the fluffier bit of its coat's like started to go blonde in the sun. It's hilarious. And they're right beside the road though, and I really want to stop one of these times and try and get a picture of the calf because he's hilarious. And they're at that stage where their hair hasn't grown long yet, and it just kind of sticks out like a toilet brush everywhere, so he's absolutely hilarious. I'll see if I can get a photograph again. I'll post that to the community tab if I manage that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah. Yeah, see in Skye. Skye is exactly the kind of place where you'll have Highland cows, because Skye is like a barren, horrible, really exposed. It's beautiful, but in terms of farming, it's not ideal or optimal farming ground. So Highland cows, absolutely, and they were obviously built for places like that. I'm glad you've been to Skye though. Skye's beautiful, like it is. It's lovely. It really is. Right, guys. I'm just gonna put you on the break screen for a little minute. I'm going. I was gonna say comfort myself. You know what I mean. And I shall return and we'll get some wash painting done. So you chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back in just a little minute or two. There we go. Back. Oh man, I'm so warm. What's been going on in the chat? What did I miss? I've got Jock in with me now. He was sunbathing outside on the deck and he's decided it's too warm, so he's now in the cave with me. And Pip's just outside the door, so when I went to pour myself a drink, I was getting some ice out of the fridge. You know, like we've got like a dispenser thing. And she just stood and looked at me as if to say, you better be giving me some of that ice. So giving her, so she's crunching a few bits just outside the door there. So I think everyone's happy. Now, This is not a pint of Jack Daniels, and there's like like a normal measure of Jack Daniels in here. It's just topped up with Pepsi. We've got to keep our professionalism, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay. Oh, so people are sewing. How exciting! Well, everybody's having babies. Okay. Not directly. It seems to be nieces, nephews, and grandchildren. Okay. A miracle and a kiwi baby. Oh, oh, babies, all the babies. Okay. Oh, that is so nice. You wouldn't even know there's any Jack Daniels in there. That's probably, I don't know if that is a good thing actually. Right, let's do some painting again. I've got a little bit of explaining to do here, so let's just sort ourselves out a bit. Okay, so this little book here, this is one of the Arteza watercolour sketchbooks. These were super cheap, and these were kind of like trendy for a bit. The paper in these, honestly, it's just not good. Like, the paper's not good. You expect, especially with cold press paper, let me zoom in on this just a little bit. You expect with cold press paper there is going to be a difference in texture and painting quality between one side and another, and that's the way it's manufactured. Like, that's just what happens. So with the Arteza paper, this is like what I call the presentation side. That's a term for being a chef. Presentation side up. Presentation side, which is the side that you would use, is quite textured here, and the back is a lot smoother. This creates huge discrepancies when you're using watercolour, and I was trying to figure out what the damnation in hell, pardon my blaspheming if you all are religious, I just needed to figure out what the frack was going on here, and just a despair. So I ended up kind of getting a little bit mad with myself here, like that was like an angry circle, like that. So I've ended up with 2 pages, neither of which actually turned into anything because I couldn't get the paint to behave the way I wanted it. And yeah, do you know the best thing to do with stuff like this is just paint over it, and gouache obviously goes really well over the top of watercolour, so that is what we're going to do because I've got my pretty brushes here. So I'm thinking I really want to try this filbert brush out. This is what I want to do today. Like, if I use this brush to paint something today, I have achieved my goals for today. So that is what we're going to do. Thea likes the smiley face clip. Do you like that? It's good, isn't it? It's happy. Nova Scotia, yes, I have heard that the weather in Nova Scotia is obviously very similar to Scotland, and it's part and parcel of it. That's just given me a little bit of a lump in my throat because you'll have heard me talk about my mum's best friend Pauline, who was Canadian, and she passed away at the beginning of the year there, and she always said that she loved Nova Scotia, and that when she came to Scotland at first that made her really feel at home. I miss Pauline. I miss her so much. She's my favourite Canadian. I love y'all. Look, you know that I've got a thing about Canadians, but Pauline was my favourite Canadian. Okay, so we've got this little greenish landscape here. Let's do something. I'm thinking rocks because that's what filbert brushes are really good for. I know that's not exciting at all, but you know. At this point also now, if anybody has any other questions about moving, whether it's to do with the stash shop or the cave or ginger cows, please feel free to ask and I will answer. I'm just going to settle myself down a wee bit now. We'll get some paint out and we can just enjoy a really chilled out hour now up until 5 o'clock. And you know, you guys can do your own thing, your sewing or whatever it is you're doing, your knitting, and I'll just sit here and paint some rocks. Right, let's see. This is my basket of gouache. This is the one that was in the photo on Instagram and Facebook last night. It's a bit of a riot, but it's about to get packed away, so I'm not that bothered. For rocks, I tend to actually use black and white to create my own, like a true grey, and then add in a hint of something, and it's normally blue. So I think that's what I might do. I'll need to have a little dig about here. So we've got ivory black, so that's fairly standard procedure. My white gouache is looking a bit sad. This is, I go through so much of this. Oh, so that's permanent white. And let's see, I don't really want ultramarine. What kind of, like, do I want a moody, oh no, this is cypress green. I get confused all the time. There's another colour that's very similar to this, and cypress green is, no, it's very teal. It's like, it's a bit much. Now, what was it? I'm trying to remember what I used last time. It wasn't the Artful Ultramarine. I say I have been using gouache quite a lot. Aha! Prussian blue. Prussian blue. There we go. That's what we want. That sounds good to me. Let's see what we can get going. Let's mix some paint. Let's see what's what. Oh well, hello Terry. I can't believe you've gotten up at 5 AM and you're coming into this stream. That's crazy beans. Thank you so much for coming. A basket is a basket full of happiness. Now, see, that's really interesting. Thea thinks that's a basket full of happiness. That, to me, that's a basket full of chaos. Like, it's amazing how much it can change from one person to another. Right, so let's squish out some of this. I'm a bit concerned because it's hot that we might, I don't know how long this is going to last. This white's kind of like nearing the end of its tenure for sure. It's starting to get really, really pasty, like really thick consistency. Patty, why are you watching a Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough? Don't do that. Don't ruin it for yourself. I've clocked an obscene amount of hours in that game, by the way, and it's during the night. I'm loving the new Zelda game. I am loving it. I haven't done much up in the sky yet, but I'm really, really enjoying it. How does the Artful Gouache compare with the Winsor & Newton? I'm looking to get some more, and the Winsor & Newton is quite good value where I am. Hi Jan, nice to see you. I'm drinking Jack Daniels, Jan. Look, this is purely for Jan's benefit. Yeah. Right, Jules, here's the thing, right, and here's my thing about the Artful Gouache. I like the consistency of it. I like the tube sizes because you can work on larger pieces without the fear of like decimating half a tube of paint. What I don't like about them, and I'm going to show you this, and it's actually something I keep meaning to talk to Artful about it. You guys know I've got quite a good relationship with Artful, and it keeps like, do you know that way, it just leaves me when we're busy getting excited about other stuff, because let's face it, that's what I do. Right, my problem with the Artful tubes is this. Bearing in mind I have grip strength issues, I have motor function issues, my hand's not very good. The caps on these tubes are absolutely horrendous. I hate them. And I'm just going to try and hold this up to this camera. Can you see the dent that's in that tube there? I'm probably better doing this way, aren't I? See this dent that's here? That is me trying to twist the cap off and the whole tube's twisting. Like, for some reason, the caps and the internals, like, I can't get that off. It's coming out, it's coming out. Right, there we go. Now, interestingly, I have tried doing this with my other hand, so that's my non-dominant hand, and I still couldn't get it off. But look how much I've damaged that tube trying to get that off. And there's these little rubber stoppers that they're supposed to stick in the cap, obviously, to create a seal. They never stick in the cap, they stick to the paint. So the paint itself, and like, see again, look, this is what I mean, like, what a mess. The paint itself is lovely, but the tubes just make it absolutely infuriating, and that's me. I'm going to be covered in blue paint now, that's it, it's over. I can't get the lid back on this properly. I'm going to have to clean all this. So I think that, Jules, that demonstrates perfectly my opinion, and it's purely a practical thing, because I kind of wish I hadn't demonstrated this now. And it's not just this one tube, a lot of them are like that. Oh man. Right, I've managed to get paint on my new mouse as well, my fancy new mouse at that. It's kind of cheesed me off a little bit. Oh. Right, okay, hang on. Someone said something about Jack Daniels. Let's just hang on a wee minute. Right, Jules, I hope that's answered your question, and that's me. My mini rant's over. I can get on with my life now. I've been meaning to say that to someone for a while though, so I'm glad you were the person I said it to. Right, Jan's back. £518 poorer. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. No more watercolour sketchbooks for you, Jan. Oh, Terry's going to Tennessee to visit family and Jack Daniels next week. Oh, so jealous. That's two people that are going away that I'm super jealous of. Dang it. Like, y'all are just here to tease me. Like, I'm packing boxes and stuff, and y'all are going to Italy and Tennessee. Like, not fair. Yeah, but can you, Terry, can you say hello to the boys for me and tell them thanks for doing a good job because they're keeping me going? Hello, Barbara. Nice to see you. Jacqueline's asking me what is my favourite paint. Oh, now there's a thing. Right, here's the thing. If we're talking overall watercolour paint, I much prefer handmade paints to mass manufactured paints. And because of that, I just get my water pots here. Because of that, I love Julia Kay's paints. You all know that. Like, you all know that I've got a special place for Julia's paints. They are made with Swedish honey, which I just think is the best thing ever. And she does such a nice range because, you know, there was always this thing of, was it only going to be spangly paints, metallic paints? But I have some of her base colour paints, so her non-metallic paints, and they're my favourite thing to work with. Hope your new mouse is a Logic MX. No, it's a Razer Basilisk, Jan. It's as obnoxious as my laptop. It's great for gaming though because it's got like 19 mappable buttons. Anywho's. Laurie loves Julia's paints as well, yeah. I'm going to let you all into a little secret. You guys get the first news. Julia and I are in talks about me stocking her paints as a UK stockist of Julia Kay Art Studio. We haven't like finalised anything or, you know, solidified any sort of decisions, but we have been talking about it because Brexit's basically causing a problem for everyone, and we figured that if we team up, then it will boost Julia's sales, but also give me something that like a product I really believe in to have in the shop as well. So again, nothing's going to happen about that till after the move, but that's quite exciting. And you know, Julia and I have been friends for quite a while now, and it's not something. I'm just looking for a brush to mix this gouache with. There we go. Right, let's rearrange this workspace a little bit here. It's not suiting me. Right, yeah, Julia and I have been friends for quite some time now, and it was the most unexpected thing for me ever because I am not a sociable person. I'm not really interested in making friends, but Julia and I vibe really well together, so if we can work together the way we have been doing, you know, we've done collabs and stuff, I would 100% stock her paints because I love them. So that kind of answers your question. Pamela loves the A Gallo handmade watercolours from Italy. Yes, now I have heard that. I haven't tried them myself, but I've heard they're nice. Weasel, oh, Julia's paints in the cave stashing. Yeah, that's dangerous, isn't it, though? That's dangerous. Right, let's get a bit of mixing done here. Jeez, I've still not painted anything. I've been rattling on for 20 minutes about paint. Right, let's get some sort of basic grey going. I think that would probably be the best idea here. I would just like to finish up my conversation for Jules by saying, based on the impracticality of the Artful Gouache, I would pick the Winsor & Newton. It's very reliable, the tubes are fine, and there's a really, really good colour range as well that's easy to get a hold of. Like, Winsor & Newton stuff is really easy for me to get a hold of. I don't know where you're based. And it's quite cost effective as well, so that's final answer. Right, let's grab some. See what I mean about this white? It's proper sticky, Right, there's a nice grey colour. Right, off we go. Oh, hello, new filbert brush. I'm excited to be friends with you. I think I want a little bit more black though. Let's just grab that. Okay. Right, we'll pop you there. Job's a good one. And there's going to be a dirty great big rock here. So let's start with that. Oh, these are nice bristles. That's given me quite a nice smooth line. Okay then, I do feel as if I need a little bit more water though. I am forgetting I've been using you know, the white synthetic bristle brushes, so they survive very well without a lot of water. So trying something new, I might need a little bit more water. Right, well there's the beginnings of a rock there. Let's grab a bit of grey and get something in there. Okay, so based on that soul action there, the light source is clearly coming from this side. So let's lighten up some of that down there. Oh, this brush is nice. That was a good £10 I spent. I'm quite excited about that. Right, I'm not going to clean my brush, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of wheat. Oh, this is so sticky, this white. And I'm just going to like smoosh some in there, and then I'm going to wipe my brush off and like just smoosh it in. Let's get some texture. Woo. That's maybe a bit too much texture. So I'm going to go back to the grey here and like try and kind of blend this in a little bit. This is the thing, while gouache is still wet, you've got a lot of options there for blendy, even on crap paper like this. I have to say though, I did try and look and see where the where the receipt was for these books that I bought, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to see how much they'd cost me. They were so cheap, like they were super cheap. Probably insultingly cheap actually. So I mean, I really shouldn't be surprised. See, if you're just testing out swatches, there you go, there's a perfect rock there, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm trying to think what... Yeah, look, when Julia keeps sending me paints, because you know how she enables me all the time, it's fine for stuff like that, because the paint will go down, but when you start trying to mix stuff or whatever, it's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Jan Scott, McLaren Racing limited edition. Do you know, I don't know if I buy into all these limited edition bottles. I've got the Legacy edition bottles, 1, 2 and 3, but apart from that, I'm like, it's fine. It's not much fun if you can't drink it. Thea, Mom, Jem's enabling us again. JD will be sponsoring the McLaren F1 team. Don't really know how I feel about that either, Jan. Thanks for coming and stopping by, Debbie. I really appreciate it. It was nice to see you. Thank you for participating, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Okay, so yeah, a rock there. I think we need another one here, though, don't we? But it's going to be lighter. So let me just get rid of some of this gouache. Handmade gouache is an interesting prospect. I know nothing about making paint other than what I've seen Julia doing, and honestly, guys, like, it doesn't look fun. Painting with gouache is much more fun than making paint of any description, like, for sure. I have to mix a little bit more paint. We're drying really quickly. I'm forgetting how warm it is in here. Yeah, stuff's not hanging around today. I mean, and to be fair, I mean, the house is pretty cool. It's just a lot warmer than it would normally be, if you know what I mean. Right, let's try that. I absolutely love it. See, if you've got the chance to do this, guys, see to have a separate brush just for mixing your paint, and it doesn't really matter what kind of brush it is. If you've got like cheap paint brushes, or you know, maybe your kids' leftover paint brushes, see, just having a spare brush to do that, it saves the bristles on your paintbrush so much. I've got these little Faber-Castell ones, and these are just their craft brushes. I got a couple of them when I bought some of the gelatos, you know, like the I want to call them like painting Pritt sticks. Hopefully you all know what I'm talking about. And these are angled ones, but these have been great for mixing paint. And it means, especially with gouache, which is a little bit thicker, it stops your brush getting overloaded with paint. Right, let's have a really jutty outy rock there. Oh, look. Oh. How's that for an odd shaped rock? Let's see what we can do with this. These brushes are a lot more absorbent than I thought they were going to be. Like, I'm not picking up enough water and enough paint with them. I say again, a part of that might be to do with temperature, to be fair, but I feel as if they're quite absorbent. And that's just one of those things, like, if you're not used to using a brush, it just takes a wee while to get used to. It's not a good or a bad thing, it's just something that's different. Right, so most of the highlights we're going to have, like, because we've decided the light source is coming this way. So let's just pop a splodge or two in there. That'd be fine. Lovely, expensive. Yes, everything's expensive, Jan, we know. Roman Small, all available at Jackson's. That'll leave money for Julia Spence. See, I like that. That's good thinking, Jan. Good thinking. Queen, struggle with overworking gouache. It's very new to me. I can't let something be either, but I find it easier with gouache. I think the best advice, sorry, this is unsolicited, I'm not sure if you're looking for advice or not. The thing that worked well for me was if something looked like 80% there is to walk away. Just get up, like physically get up and walk away and let it dry. And then you've got less chance of coming back and overworking it. I hope that makes sense. Jacqueline, is this the first time you've been in a live? Really? I'm sure I'd seen you doddering about before. I might be completely wrong. I might just be making that up. But I thought you'd been in here before. It's good fun. Like our lives are pretty chill and everyone's really well behaved. Like we don't have any problems with, you know, trolls and stuff like that. So I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. That's really nice to hear. Oh, hi Black Rose. I'm so glad you could join us. All good. All good. I find with gouache, acrylics and oils, layer till it looks good. I know, I'm like, no, just leave it alone. It's not done anything to upset you. Just leave it be. What did that poor painting do to you? You guys see it all the time in my videos. I'm trying to wrap up the video and I'm still like painting or drawing. And then I usually end up screwing something up and then I'm like, ah, man. I'm not happy with this here rock. It's not suiting me. I feel like there's not enough, like, I feel as if something needs to be a bit more angular. Like, oh, there we go. Like, let's see if that makes a difference. Now I'll blend that out. Not feeling too well. Oh. I'm sorry you're not feeling good, Black Rose. That's crappy. I don't want anyone to feel like that. Jan, it's fine and alive until Jem gets leery on the JD. That's hilarious. How funny. Oh my goodness. I've actually, like, guys, honestly, I've been so good, as in I've not, my alcohol consumption has gone down significantly, but I've actually started exercising properly and like really looking after myself. This is a direct result of moving. Like, all the weight has been lifted off my shoulders, all the stress is gone, and I feel a million times better. And I'll always love a Jack Daniels, don't get me wrong, but I was getting to the point where I almost felt as if it was getting a bit too frequent, and it was purely a stress response. So definitely no getting leery on the Jack Daniels, we don't need that, but I am like 100%, see, even in the last 2 weeks, I am like, I feel as if I'm like my old self. Like, I feel as if I'm like OG Cave Gem. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. Unfortunately, my weight doesn't matter right now. But the fact that I'm back exercising properly, like drinking not as much alcohol, and like just generally being a happier person. I've got more energy, which I didn't need. I've never needed more energy. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting back to my old self a bit more. I'm feeling a bit fancier about life, which is, it's so refreshing, honestly. And I've tried to not let the like stresses outside of the cave affect what I do in videos and stuff, because I feel that that's really unfair. And I think I've done a fairly good job of, you know, keeping up my enthusiasm. But someone did say to me that my tiredness has showed over the last like maybe 4 or 5 months, which, yeah, there was no avoiding that. But yeah, generally I'm feeling pretty good, she says, with a pint of Jack Daniels in front of her. You're very welcome, Queen said. I don't know if that's going to be helpful at all, but early on it helped me, it really did. Oh my God. Hi, Sue. I didn't see you coming in either. When did you sneak in? You're going out to Brownies? That's amazing. Are you a brown owl? Are you a tawny owl? Or are you just taking kids to Brownies? I would love to know that. I don't know why, but I just would. Ironing. I don't do ironing either. Jacqueline, yeah, I know you comment on my videos quite often. I've seen your name pop up and it's really nice. I thought you'd been in a live stream before. It's been quite a while since we've had one, to be fair. But okay, yeah, still glad that you're here. Oh. Yeah, yeah, you know the weight thing really bothers me. Like it really does. I've never right, I'm gonna overlap some rocks here. I've never had an easy time with my weight. A lot of it, I'm not trying to make excuses here. A lot of it is genetic. The Italian side, so Papa Jem's side, are all short, stocky, like peasant farmer build, and I'm never going to get away from that. I'm never going to be, like a size 4 or like a US size 0. Like I'm never going to be that person. I don't want to be that person. But I look at a piece of bread and I put on like 2.5 pounds, and I'm trying really hard to get back into the fitness regime that I had before, because I used to run like 30 and 40 miles a week. For some of you that have been here since the original cave, you'll know that I used to do a lot of running, always for charity. I really like exercise, and it's a great outlet for the energy that I've got because I'm a really full on person. Like it's a really good way for me to channel that, and it stops me getting stressed and anxious and that energy building up and then going somewhere negatively. So I'm desperate to get back to that, but I haven't been in the headspace. I've been so stressed, and I'm just really glad to be in a place where I might be able to get back to. I don't think I'm ever going to be as fit as I was because I was pretty fit, but I feel like the weight that I am and the body that I'm in just now, I feel as if it's not mine. Does that sound stupid? Like I've never been this weight in my entire adult life. So I am very keen to change that, and hopefully that's going to happen fairly quickly, and I'll get there. But that should be a byproduct. It shouldn't be the reason or the sole purpose. It's just going to be a happy accident because I am just happier as a person. So I would just like to say, from these tiny little rocks that I've done here, that this Escoda brush, now that I'm getting used to the absorbency, that this is a great brush for this. I'm enjoying this, and I'm quite happy about this little rock here. Is that really sad? I'm happy about stones. Patty was a snowy owl. Oh. Sue, I'm the leader, and my name is Sweetie Owl. Oh, that is adorable. That's freaking adorable. For anybody that doesn't know what the brownies is, it's a bit like the Girl Scouts. Jock, stop that. He's chewing his sore leg. It's kind of like Girl Scouts, but no, it's the same kind of idea, and the leaders are owls. So Sweetie Owl, that's amazing. I've got Sue, I've got a question. Do you still get the girls to jump the toadstool when they come in and leave? You know how we used to like if when you were inducted into Brownies, you used to have like Brown Owl and Tawny Owl would take you under the arm and swing your legs over this little plastic toadstool, and that was you like welcomed in. And then when you moved out of Brownies up into the Girl Guides, which was like the sort of teenager version, you had to jump the toadstool again, but you did it by yourself. Do they still do stuff like that? Oh, that's brought back so many memories right there. 13-year-old decided she wants all love. Give her all the love. Give her all the love. Genetics are no excuse, though. They're a big influence, sadly. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way of it. Laurie was a snowy owl too. Oh my god, all the brownie leaders are coming out now. This is amazing. Ah. Art at Jules, I miss running. Now I'm in a wheelchair, zooming around isn't the same. Ah, Jules. You got no padding to keep you warm. Yeah, I can understand. Especially when you're stationary, it's much harder. If you're in a sitting position all the time, you do tend to get cold really quickly anyway. And obviously not carrying any weight, you don't have any insulation. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you know what you need? You need good heat pads and good blankets, which I'm sure you've already got. Have you tried as well, Jules? I'm really interested now that you've said you're in a wheelchair. Have you ever tried chair yoga? I was doing a little bit of that with someone the other day, and I just wondered if it's something for someone who's not able-bodied below the waist. I just wondered if it was if it's an effective exercise. Let's put it that way. I would love to hear your thoughts on that genuinely. Thea's confused about the brownies thing. Do you guys not have Thea? Do you guys not have Girl Scouts or anything? Work done, JD. Fire now sorted. Cheers, cheers, Chan. Patty flew up to guides, no toadstools involved. Well, that's disappointing. Yes, we do tell the brownie story and use our toadstool at promise times. Oh, I do 3 very different units and also a Rangers group, which is 14 to 18. Oh, wow. You do a lot, Sue. I'm so glad that you still use the toadstool and you do your brownie promise. That hand, right hand, isn't it? Brownie promise. Oh, so you're right. Okay, so brownies is quite similar to Girl Scouts. It's not quite the same thing, but it encourages it encourages young ladies to come out their shell a little bit. So you go, you can earn badges that go on your sash, and there's lots of different ones for different things. So it encourages you to like be a go-getter. But those badges cover every possible vocation you can think of, from like public speaking to sewing to music to gymnastics. So there's something for everyone. That's the idea, and everyone's included. And you have like little groups. It's really cool. Like I loved being a brownie. I loved being a brownie. Art and diamonds. I didn't do the Girl Scout thing because my dad was retired Navy, so we went camping and fishing all the time. Well, that'll do it. Who needs Girl Scouts when you've got a Navy dad? That's funny. That's really funny. I'm just wanting to see if that one's pretty dry. Okay, I think I'm going to put another rock in here because, well, why not? Why not? I am super enjoying this. This filbert brush is really nice. For those of you that were late joining, the reason that I purchased this brush, like it literally arrived in the post today. I've been struggling to find a nice filbert brush for gouache, and most of them aren't filbert shaped, and I was recommended this by someone, so I thought I'd buy one and try it, and it's in a Skoda Prado. This is a number 10. I do have here as well their flat brush as well, so I'm going to try that for another rock here in quite a dark shade. We'll see how that gets. Most of my gouache has dried up right now. So I'm going to go in with the neat black, and while it's wet I'm going to blend in on top of it. I kind of want to keep that edge there. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, right, okay. Here's the thing about flat brushes, and this is purely my experience, no other reason. Let me just finish that. Oh, that's so nice. Flat brushes, when you start to paint with them, even if you're only putting like a little bit of pressure on them, the integrity of the shape of that square starts to disintegrate, because obviously there's flexibility in the bristles. This is a really nice balance between flexibility and rigidity, to give you these angular shapes that you might want for rocks. Guys, this might be my new favourite paintbrush. Oh, when I paid something, it was no more than £9 for this paintbrush, no more than that, because both brushes, which I got from Jackson's, were I'm sure it was around the £20 mark, and then like postage on top. That is a nice paintbrush. I like that. Right, so while this is still wet, which is barely, let's grab some of my like really squishy. Oh. Yeah, okay. Stop talking, keep working. So all my teachers used to say to me at school, less chat and more work, Jem. I've also been having, just talking about chatting, I've been having lots of conversations with different people about ADHD just recently. Some of the comments that some of you guys have made to me about various things, and just doing a bit of proper research, not anecdotal social media, like proper research. The more and more time goes on, I'm like, I think I've got ADHD, like I really do. I don't think I'll ever go for a diagnosis or anything. I just don't feel it's necessary. But it's nice to know that the way my brain is wired up isn't necessarily defective, if that makes sense. But there's so much that rings true when I look at the symptoms of out of control ADHD. That's quite a nice rock as well. I'm not mad about those rocks, guys. That's okay. But that's an aside. It's something I'm not really going to do anything more with until after we've moved as well. But there's just been a lot of coincidences recently, and I think it might be time to look into it a little bit more. But we'll see. I've got paint everywhere. I've got paint under my nails and all sorts. Such a rebel. Girl guiding are closing support for the overseas groups and no longer support those groups. Ah. I promise on my honour to do my best, to do my duty to God, to the Queen and my country. That's right, Patty. Very good. Yeah, mine was similar to that. That wasn't the exact wording, but it was something to that effect. God, I never thought I'd be having a conversation about brownies or girly guides. Girly guides. Right, okay, there we go. I always thought the girl guide uniforms were much cooler because they were like navy blue and the brownies are like yellow and brown. I joined the brownies, this is showing my age a little bit here, Sue, you'll like this. I joined the brownies at that transition between the old brown tunics that were really uncomfortable and the little brown bobble hats, and they brought in the yellow sweatshirts and the hoodies and the culottes. I was right on the cusp of that, so Mama Jem was really pissed because I had a tunic, and then obviously when the new uniform came out, I totally wanted one of them. And I was like, I'm a total tomboy. I never worn a skirt in my life, and I absolutely detested the fact that I had to wear one to brownies. So I got the culottes. I was allowed the culottes. It was so good. That was a long time ago. Like, this is unlocking a lot of memories for me right now. Oh. Do you know, I don't actually think we've got any pictures in the brownie uniform. I actually don't think there are any pictures. I really don't. I was going to say, that must have been like early 90s maybe? Mid-90s? No, hang on. Yeah, like early 90s. So unless there was like an event or something, people wouldn't have had, like cameras and stuff with them. That's so weird. God, I'm so old. Recently found my badges and camp hat. Oh, Patty. Oh. Right, okay. Looking at these rocks now, I think I want some water in here. Obviously you're going to have the reflections of what's round about in your water, but I don't think the water's going to be this colour. So I'm going to take, let's get the mixing brush actually for this. I tried to zoom in so you could see more of the actual picture and less of my riot of a palette here. I'm going to take my little mixing brush, I'm going to grab this Prussian blue. Now a tiny spot of this goes a really, really long way. I just twist that around. That's the Prussian blue there. Like, you only need like a smattering of it. So what I would like to do is take my flat brush here, make it really flat, like, oh, it's so lovely, and let it hold quite a lot of water, and then just like tickle it in there so you can see that turning blue now, yeah? And then I think what we'll do is we'll just, oh, I'm forgetting this paper's terrible for this. I'm thinking, like, oh, watercolour paper, yeah, no. Especially not with watered down gouache. Jem, oh, you're so silly. So let's just grab some water. It's leaving a really weird texture. Like, I can't look, it's like, it's all bleeding out. Oh. Don't buy Arteza sketchbooks, guys, for watercolour paper. Please don't. Please save yourself the pain and the anguish. Because it's 100% not worth it. Okay. I'm going to tuck a little bit of that in. You can't see that because my head's in the way. Like a little bit of that right there. Oh, I hate this paper so much. It won't, it kind of reminds me of the Inktense pencils. Like, see, once you put it down there, you can't blend it out. And that's bananas. Oh, I've caught some of the gouache there. The black gouache, excuse me. That's crazy for watercolour paper, whether it's the back side of it or not. Sorry guys. Oh. You had the tunic with the pockets in the back in the 60s, yeah. Well, the uniform didn't change for so long, Sue. You've got brownie badges from the 17s, Jack. That's hilarious. Well, I'm really sorry, y'all. I wasn't born in the 70s. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Right, so we've got something that might resemble water apart from this aberration here, but that's okay. Okay, I'm just looking at the time, guys. It's 4:45. Has anybody got any more questions about the new cave or moving or anything like that? I don't want anyone to feel left out or as if I haven't answered their question. Right, I'm grabbing some of my really tacky white now on my my lovely new flat brush that I've got that I'm really enjoying. Oh. I think what I'll do is after the fact, I think I might try and find the link to these brushes, and I'll put it in the description of this for those of you who are going to watch the rest after the fact, or those who aren't here right now. Right, okay, so if we're talking water, just making sure you guys can still see what I'm doing. Yeah, that is really, really dry. That's a bit too dry. Get some more water in there. Better. Yeah, I think these might be my favourite brushes for the old gouache now. Oh, look at that! That's some nice, see, that looks like water now. That's all we needed. Bearing in mind that the light again's coming from this direction, so most of the reflections that we will see on the water will be on the right hand side and not the left. Now you can build up, if you want, you know, much crisper lines, you can obviously build the gouache up. Or use less water. So let's just see. This is exactly why I wanted a flat brush. And the ones that I've got, I mean, obviously I've got a lot of paintbrushes, I've got a lot of flat brushes, but some of them just weren't doing the way I wanted them to do the doing, and this is doing the doing. See, now doesn't that look much better than the pants watercolour effort that was there before? We have improved. We have improved something in my sketchbook, and I like that a lot. I hope I haven't missed any questions. I don't know, Thea, like that. I don't know. Terrible paper, yeah. No, terrible paper will not stop me. Ta-da! I kind of want to do something in the sky, but we'll save that for another time. Yeah, no, that was one of the first questions I answered. That was like when we first started the stream. As of yet, I don't know. My internet service provider is... Excuse me. My internet service provider is looking into the different options for the area, and they're going to get back to me next week. So as of yet, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll wait and see. I think worst case scenario, it'll be the same as here, but hopefully just a little bit more consistent. So we're not going to have the same extreme weather the new places we are here, because where we're going is like where it is in the country, like it's a little bit more sheltered and we're not elevated the way we are here, so the big storms and stuff will be, hopefully, climate change and everything, but hopefully the extreme weather will be less and to a lesser extent is what I'm hoping. We still have backup generators and things because we're farmers, that's what we do. But I'm hoping, I don't even need faster speeds now, I just need consistency, which is something that we don't have at the moment. Yeah, colorist, the painting is turning out great. Yeah, it's doing okay, isn't it? Yeah, I think it needs more, but for a little jaunt for a Wednesday afternoon, we're doing all right. This is the thing, like I'm really enjoying gouache at the moment, like I'm super enjoying it, and I would actually quite like to create, I was talking in the update video about creating sticker series. We've already established we're going to have Cows of the Cave, but I would really like to create a set of stickers that are purely gouache paintings that have been stickerized or put into sticker form, or you know, whatever. And I think this is a really nice starting point right here, because I've kind of, I don't want to say I've fallen out of love with watercolour, but it's just now it's just not making me tick, and I'm spending more time with gouache, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. So I think that's probably what's fueling this compulsion, not compulsion, but this drive to have gouache stickers. But we'll see once the new cave's sorted out. We'll see. Summer camp was like running away from home and living in the woods. I still want to do that. That's my entire life, Lisa. ah. Yeah, no, the internet's good today now. I did notice, I keep an eye on what's happening with our local mast because it's mobile internet we get here. And the tail end of last week and into the beginning of this week, they were doing work on the mast and they're upgrading a lot of the masts to 5G. So my internet was terrible at the beginning of the week and I was like, oh God, this isn't good. But since they have done that and they send you like a message and tell you to reset your internet, and since I've done that, it's been pretty stable. So, and obviously because the weather's good as well now, that really helps. We've to be sunny and 18 degrees Celsius plus for the rest of the week, which I'm perfectly happy about. I'll take it. It's all good. Okay, so just to sort of close off then, so we're coming to the end. I'm on quite a tight schedule today. I've still got loads of stuff to do. I've always got loads of stuff to do. I think I might do a little bit more on this. This is clearly not finished. I don't think that this is a view out to sea. I think that there needs to be things, but I think those rocks are a good start. I really like these paintbrushes. I've decided I would like to do a little bit more painting with them, which I am obviously going to do before I pack up all my gouache stuff. But so far so good. Like, first impressions, really happy about it. Really happy, and I'm glad I got to test them out today as well because this has been good funsies. I like it a lot. So if anybody's looking for gouache brushes, there's kind of like two schools of thought with these brushes. And there's some people that really like acrylic brushes, and there's people that like watercolour brushes. I am not in either camp. I just want to try stuff out, and if I like it, then I like it, and if I don't, well, I don't. It's like I don't discriminate. But yeah, these are good fun, but I think they need more use. And it's nice to have found a filbert that I like. The one that I was using before was the Winsor & Newton Cotman filbert. I don't know if I've got it here. I think it might be elsewhere. And as a watercolour brush, it was great, but with the gouache, I felt it was too soft. This seems to be a little bit stiffer, this one. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. So more of that to come for sure, for definite. So I hope you've all enjoyed yourself today. I've had a lovely 2 hours. This is the kind of live stream that I like. I used to get really stressed out about live streams. And it was more the technical aspect, hoping that everything was going to run well and the audio would be okay. And I seem to have relaxed into a little bit now. I wish we could do more live streams, and it's something that I'm kind of contemplating. It depends, this all just depends on what the new place is going to be like. If I had a stable internet connection, I would quite happily do this every Wednesday afternoon. Just saying. But it's a big ask. Rural area, blah blah blah, farmers, hillbilly internet. So it's everything's just a huge case of wait and see just now, and let's just get ourselves there, wait and see what happens. One thing I can guarantee you is you will continue to get content from the cave in some capacity, in some shape or form. We've been around for 5 years now. I'm not slowing down. I'm definitely not stopping now. But we'll just have to see what the internet will let us do. There's not much more they can do. Yeah, Jan, exactly. So now I'm leaving my internet. It's getting better, exactly. Yeah, the Cotman brushes are student grade. It was just a case of there were brushes that I had, and they're meant to be watercolour brushes. And with gouache, very few brands make gouache brushes. It's either watercolour brushes, but you can use them like with gouache, or it's synthetic brushes and you can use them with this and gouache. So I think it's a lot about preference with the gouache brushes. But it was really difficult to find filbert brushes that were what I was looking for. That doesn't really make any sense, but I know what I'm talking about. They weren't really bendy and really absorbent. Yeah, fingers crossed for stable internet. That would be, yeah, that would be ideal. That's what we would want. That's exactly what we would want. But say we just can't rely on stuff like that. But that's, do you know what? That's okay. That's absolutely fine. So just to talk about the stash shop then before we finish up, here is the plan. You can tell I'm getting warm because I keep like taking my mane and like, oh, I don't know where to, really where I want to put it is up here, which is what I'll be doing when I finish the stream. But for now, I just need it out of my way. It's getting ridiculously long, but I'll have to deal with that another time. Not top of the priority list right now. The stash shop, my plans are from Sunday, so there will be a normal cave video tomorrow. That will be a colouring video, and that is our last Colin Thompson colouring video with the doors, which I'm equal parts really happy about and really sad about because I feel quite accomplished having finished it, but I'm kind of going to miss it because I've enjoyed it so much. From Sunday, I am going to be marking down some of the old stock in the stash shop. So there's going to be loads of stuff in like a moving sale, and that is current stock that is on the stash shop right now. And then in the space of the next maybe 3 weeks, I am going to start adding things from my own collection, like Gem's own stash, and it's things that really don't need to come with me. I did say before in the update video that when we got to 10,000 subscribers, I was going to kind of like have a massive clear out anyway. We're just doing it a wee bit early. It's a good time to do it. But I would like to point out we are only like 104 subscribers away from that 10,000 anyway. So, you know, now's as good a time as any. So the stuff that's coming out of my own stash is things that I've had for a period of time and have, some of them might have been lightly used, some of them maybe like a bit more than lightly used, but it's not something that I'm using on a regular basis, therefore it's not coming with me. Those items will be priced accordingly, and there will be paint, there will be pencils. There are low value items as well that I've just kind of accumulated, like erasers and sharpeners and, you know, like little things like that, and they're going to be in like a penny sale. I wanted to have them as postage only items. My shipping setup will not let me do that. It has a hissy fit if something doesn't have a price attached to it, so they will be in the shop at 1 penny. But the idea is that you're just paying postage on it. You're obviously not paying for the value of the item because it's quite a low value item. So all of that is going to be going on starting from Sunday, so you can keep your eyes peeled in the stash shop. I did notice as well that this last week I've had quite a few orders from the US, and I'm really happy to see that. There is this perception that the postage costs to the US are absolutely ridiculous. Obviously they're expensive, they've got to go over that great expanse of water, but I ship everything economy unless someone asks specifically for track shipping, and it's actually quite reasonable, especially when you're talking about the kind of items that we use like paintbrushes or pencils. Most of the items are quite lightweight and therefore they're quite cheap to post. So if you're in the US and you're thinking about maybe having a look at the sale stuff, please go and stick stuff in a basket, and the shipping will be calculated for you. You don't have to commit to it, and it'll let you see what kind of dollars you're looking at. It's very difficult for me because, again, Brexit's ruined everything. I have lost like 95% of my European trade, so I'm relying now solely on Canadian, American and UK, well, mostly those three, for revenue for the stash shop. So don't be scared, and if you've got any questions, just email me, I'll answer them for you, no problem at all. Oh, Barbara's left me a little sticker, a good luck sticker with $9.99 US. Thank you, Barbara. Never ever expected to have super stickers or super thanks, but always appreciated, so thank you, that was very nice of you. Yay! I'm glad everyone's, oh, this was a blast. Good, Lisa, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Alright guys, okay, thank you so much for coming and joining in. I'm going to head off now and go and do all the other boring things that I don't want to do. I'd much rather sit here with you guys and just chat, but what can we do? Thanks for coming and joining in. Like, I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate that it's a Wednesday afternoon, and some of you have turned up just for the crack. And we'll see you back in the cave tomorrow for our normal video, and also on Sunday as well. So enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is with you, and thanks again for joining, guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone, look after yourselves, and we'll see you soon.